of the cake. So I'm going to take it easy on you. I'm not really known for that. Um, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our egg whites. I've never used this mixer before, so it's a new day. All right. So we're going to place our egg whites into the bowl. You always want your egg whites to be room temperature. You'll get more volume that way. And also you want to make sure that your bowl and your whip are super clean. So washed well and wiped down with something like vinegar or lemon juice just to remove any oil residue that's left in your mixer. So let's see if I can put the bowl back on. Oh, need the... Yeah, I'm new to this. Okay, I did it. All right. So I'm going to start to whip these whites a little bit low and slow. When I start to see it become frothy, I'm going to start pouring in the sugar. Now, it seems like it's only a little bit of egg whites. Wow, she's noisy. It's a little bit of egg whites, but what you're looking for is volume. You really see them rise up, and as you add the sugar, you see them start to become nice and glossy. And the rest of the ingredients for this meringue, what makes it unique is hazelnuts. So I have them ground and I have them chopped. It's fine if they're not fully skinned. I actually like how that looks. And then I also have chopped up hazelnut wafers, which are these guys right here. You can also use the flat ones. That's what I get at home, whatever you can find. And then some baking powder. And this adds a really flaky texture to this meringue. This is not a pavlova, it's a meringue. I think the table's gonna hold up. I'm telling myself that, so. So I'm gonna bake this meringue in cake pans. And what you want to do is you always want to make sure that they're fully lined parchment on the bottom and on the sides. Otherwise, this will stick to the pan. And you can grease the pan to keep the parchment in place, but you don't really want any grease on the surface where your meringue will be. So these are prepped. Always have your pans prepped and ready to go. Very important. I'm scared to turn this up, but I need to. And we just keep adding the sugar and letting the eggs wet. And of course, I'm assuming you all know that when you crack your eggs, you don't want to get any yolk in the egg. You don't want the fatty part of the egg when you're making meringue. I personally find it easier to crack them when they're cold. The yolk really stays together well. And then I'll put the whites in a container, cover it, and leave it out to come to room temperature. When you crack them warm, the yolk tends to break a lot more. Question! To this recipe, no, but yes, a lot of meringues do have cream of tartar, and that just helps to keep it nice and stiff. So, in the meantime, I'm going to mix these lovely ingredients together. Here's a tip for when you're adding ingredients, and I always forget. This is my problem. So I start to put everything in one bowl, and then I think, did I add the baking powder? So keep them in their own little corners, like before the wrestling match. You know what I mean? And then that way, you can still see what you've added to the bowl. So now I know I added all 4 ingredients. I did my job. And these are just going to get tossed together and then folded into the meringue. Okay, we're just waiting. Actually, the bowl is really cold, and this is what I mean when I say the eggs need to be room temperature. The temperature of the room really affects it. I live in 4 seasons, so I'm an expert at this. Baking in the summer and baking in the winter for me are like opposite ends of the spectrum. So sometimes you just have to be patient, but cold is sort of holding back the volume. I have everything ready. Okay, I'm going to talk about the garnishes. So I have more of what's inside plus a few extra things, and you can really dress this up and make it your own. So I have more of the wafers, chopped hazelnuts. These are chocolate shavings. If you want something fresh, of course, you can add berries or edible flowers. And then I'm also topping this with whipped cream that I'm going to dress up just a little bit in the simplest way. Come on, give me what I'm looking for. I need to show the people what they're looking for. I feel like this is, I don't know if you've seen when Beyonce is singing and her hair gets caught in the fan. That's what's happening to me right now. But I'm going to keep going because that's what she would do. So the meringue is not reaching the peak that it should, and I'm going to show that to you. So you see how it's, no. This is droopy. It needs to be really not, you need to be able to turn the whisk up and have it stand up. So the good news is I already have a meringue, but let me see if I can get this going, please. And then, okay, she took a minute. I still want to demo the process. Don't worry, I have it already baked, and up the meringue. This is my life. You're getting behind the scenes of my life. It's just a ton of waiting. It's a ton of hurry up and wait. You know what I mean? Sometimes I add, what I like to do, if I need to do this in the winter, I'll take a towel and I'll put it in hot water, wring it out, and then I'll just warm up my bowl subtly. If it wasn't meringue, you could do this with a blowtorch. I don't like doing that when it's meringue. It's too hot. I'm not joking. That's not a joke. You can warm up the bowl with a blowtorch, but I wouldn't suggest that for meringue. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead because I don't want you to have to watch this. This is not very Beyonce of me at all. Yes, okay. That's the lesson today. Thank you. That's what I'm learning today. All right, so it's a bit better. It's not as droopy, but it's still, the peak should stay up. That's what you're looking for. So, where will I put this? This is going to be fun. I made it. Maybe? Oh boy. All right. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is fold these ingredients into the meringue. And you just want to fold. We all know what folding is, right? You're just sort of gently folding so that you don't see any of the dry ingredients just stuck on the top. And as soon as you see it combined, you want to stop, and that's when you can pour it into the pan. I definitely don't have the volume, I can tell that, but I still wanted to show you the process. And then what you want to do, I should have just poured it into one pan, then I can show you. You want to use an offset spatula, you can use a rubber spatula as well, and just spread the meringue around the pan. Okay, and then through the magic of TV, live TV, I already have one. I popped one out of the pan beforehand, and then this is what it looks like when it's baked. So it just gets a very light brown. You can see that it is risen. You can see why you need to smooth it, but I do love the sort of moon-like texture of this. It's not going to be smooth, especially with all those bits and bobs inside. And what you can do is serve this as a dessert. You can make this individually, which is what you're all going to try. And all you would do is take a spoon and place dollops, or an ice cream scoop, place dollops of this on a sheet tray with parchment, and then you can bake little individual desserts and dress them up. This is the large version of what you're going to try. So now I have my meringue, and what I need is my whipped cream. And into the whipped cream, I'm going to very lightly fold in some cocoa powder. So I'm not going to completely deflate this whipped cream and turn it like light brown. I want to see it marbled throughout. So again, a light fold. I really like dark Dutch processed cocoa. I just think the flavor is incredible. Sorry. Okay. And now we can dress this up. So you just have your meringue on a plate. You can pipe if you want to, but I don't think you need to. That's just more work. And then what you want to do is spread this nicely, but you want to leave a nice good portion of whipped cream. There we go. You can also add a little more cocoa if you want. Please be gentle with me. I don't want an avalanche of cocoa. And then you can have fun dressing this up with whatever you like and whatever you please. So obviously some chocolate shavings, some hazelnuts. Berries just add a nice fresh flavor. Raspberries would also be delicious. What did I miss? Ooh, this you can just leave whole. You can also break them up if you want to. And then fresh flowers. Another chef left these behind. So, I mean, how could these be left behind? And there you have it. But I'm going to cut into it so you can see what it's like. Oh, knives. How convenient. Okay, and you can hear, hopefully you can hear the crunch. I'm going to get my mic close to it. No, I'm sorry. Oh, you did? Okay. And then, I should have a plate. I'll just hold it up for you. Or you can. No, I can't hold it up for you. I can't do that. I know what I'm going to do. Oh, I'm on television? Wow. Wow, that's amazing. I just want you to see. All right. Hi, I'm here. And so here you have it. It's a really, I love this dessert because it's light and it's decadent at the same time. There's a lot of texture, but it's not really heavy. And I of course love sweets, but I do find that after a meal, sometimes a lot of desserts are just far too much. And you can switch this up. You can, instead of hazelnuts, why not pistachios? You could do a lemon whipped cream with some lemon curd inside, some lemon zest, and whatever berry you want. So you can really switch it up every time when you think of how many different nuts there are and how many different flavor profiles you can use. Thank you. And also what's great is if you're going to make this for a dinner, make the meringue in the morning, keep it, and then you just sort of throw on everything before you serve it, and it feels really, really fresh. And that's it. Unlike Beyonce, I don't have an encore. I know what my encore is. I'm going to eat with you. Cheers. I like to make a big one. I also like to make a big one because I use it. Sorry, I'm speaking with my mouth full. I use it as a cake layer. So I like it. But individual is really easy. All you need is a spoon, a scoop. It's very rustic looking, so it's really forgiving. And that's what I love about it. Yeah, I don't usually get to lay back with cake, but with this, I can. Okay. Oh, we have a question. Yes, you could. You can use a spring form, just like I said, make sure that you line it. And here's a tip for a spring form. The base usually is a little indented. I like to take it out and flip it over so the flatter side is on top. Try it out. You're going to like it. But the good news is it's not liquidy, so it's not going to pour out like other things do from a spring form. Okay. That's it. I'm sorry I didn't dance, everyone. Next year. Next year. Thank you. Yep.